Good afternoon, friends. Stephen Bernard with Israeli News Live. Those of you that already know, Prime Minister Netanyahu has fired Gallant and removed him from power. But the question has to be asked, is it because he has called several months ago for an inquiry into the October 7th failed military response to the massacre on October 7th, 2023. Hamas allegedly seeming to breach all security that Israel actually had. But for some reason, they managed to get in. Now, the thing is, though, as Gallant is saying that, and now, of course, Netanyahu wants him out, is it because he fears of what's going to happen to him? So he fires Yoav Gallant, installs more extreme lunatic, according to the article right here on UNZ.com. And already we have protests that have begun since Netanyahu fired Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Of course, I'm not a fan of Yoav Gallant either, for the mere fact that he said that they were animals, speaking of the Palestinians, that he was cutting off their water, their food, their medical supplies, everything, and pretty much completely enacted a total annihilation of the Palestinian population of Gaza for the quote-unquote October 7th massacre. But, you know, the problem is, even though Netanyahu has fired him, and of course the question remains as to why he's done this, there's different articles popping up everywhere about it. The probe looks to the October 7th probe looks to the past, and will it implicate Benjamin Netanyahu? Well, the question is, will it implicate Gallant as well? There's no doubt definitely some men that were certainly very well aware, as the Egyptians 3 days before, we saw on Reuters that they had actually said that they had evidence that, you know, the attack was coming, and Israel did absolutely nothing about it. And then there's so much more evidence as well. So what is this all about? I mean, to me, it's really like all smoke and mirrors. Gallant's firing and talking about the probe and everything, worried about Netanyahu. Because after all, regardless of the headlines, you have people like this Israeli right here, and of course Rabbi Mizrahi, who clearly said it was an inside job. Listen in for yourself and see for yourself what they say.
The lefty liberals now for the Hamas inside Tel Aviv. After what they saw, they still demonstrate for them with Palestinian flags. This is the Erev Rav that lives inside us, who cooperate with them. For sure it's an inside job, for sure. Don't be foolish that all of a sudden they broke in 15 different places in a fence and nobody showed up for 8 hours. No intelligence, no radars, no police showed up, no army showed up, nobody came, no air force. It takes 3 minutes for an helicopter to come from a base into the border. 3 minutes. I was in the Air Force. F-16 in 1 minute is up. From the minute there is a siren, in 1 minute the F-16 is already up, ready to shoot anyone. An helicopter is faster, right away. Nobody showed up, no helicopters, no F-16, nothing. Has to be an inside job. These lefty liberals are the big enemy. I've been saying it for more than 20 years. You're exaggerating. Fortunately, everything I said was true.
Well, you know, I will tell you, there's a lot I'm not very happy about Mizrahi about.
That will allow us to...
I will tell you one thing. He at least has the courage to tell you like it is. Listen to this guy right here. He is a former IDF military soldier, and he spoke out. I played it before, but listen in again.
Shalom. I want you to know before I start the video that what I'm about to say is very controversial. So if you don't have an open mind about what's going on in Israel right now, and you don't want to hear something that might rattle your preconceived notions a little bit, I suggest you turn off this video right now. I'll wait. Okay, if you're still with me, that shows that you're open to listening to some facts and a timeline that points to a very disturbing conclusion. This isn't a video I want to make, and it's something that pains me. I had a lot of inner dilemmas whether or not I should do this video, but I feel like nowadays truth and transparency is so important that I feel I should share it with you. So we're all trying to make sense of what happened on October 7th, which is Shmini Atzeret. Some call it Simchat Torah, when we all know Gazans came in and basically slaughtered 1,000 Israelis and kidnapped a bunch, all in the matter of about 7 hours. So what I want to do is reverse engineer this thing a little bit to kind of help you understand why I believe that this was an inside job. First of all, we'll start with September 1st. By the way, everything I'm about to say will be backed up with actual links to news articles or video footage. And if you want any of my sources, I'm happy to give them. September 1st, the Israeli government confiscated the weapons of the security teams in the Gaza Belt communities. This was done against the will of those security teams in the Gaza Belt communities. Why that happened, nobody knows. Fast forward to September 10th. On September 10th, the Moatzah, which is basically the municipalities of the Gaza Belt communities, received reports. These are civilians, received reports of increased tensions on the border of Gaza during the Jewish holidays, which of course span from Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Shmini Atzeret, which was on Saturday. Those same heads of municipalities asked the army if they should cancel their festivities in light of the warnings of increased tensions on the border of Gaza. And what did the army say? They said, no, don't cancel anything. It appears as though we're heading into a state of calm. By the way, all links I will share as soon as I have a chance to comment on this. Now, you can assume that the Shabak did not know about this attack, but that's highly improbable. I mean, Israel is probably the most advanced surveillance state in the world, and the Gaza border is probably the most heavily surveilled. And the Shabak, who somehow knew about a guy who had corona in a toy store and tracked him all the way to a soccer stadium during the days of corona, somehow didn't know about this massive attack planned by thousands of random Gazans on pickup trucks and hang gliders. Are you serious? Are you really that stupid? Do you really believe that? Because if you do, I have a bridge to sell you.
Amen.
Anyways, so then there's the theory that they're called in Hebrew Tatzpitanot, which is basically the command and control center. These are the people, mostly females, who's tasked with observing the Gaza border fence. And I say, there's a theory that says that they were hacked, or that they conquered or that they blew it up before they could. They blew up the equipment that surveilled. Well, that's BS, because there's actual video footage that I'll also share with you of those same command control center operators reporting on the breach of the fence. The fence was breached in 15 different locations, and you want to tell me that the most highly advanced surveillance equipment on arguably any border in the world didn't pick that up, didn't report it? Well, they did, and it's documented. So don't believe that lie. Now, once thousands of Gazans on pickup trucks and hang gliders invaded Israel, which apparently nobody knew about, right? Okay, you believe that? Which apparently no one knew about. They had 7 hours to kill everyone in their path, completely destroy kibbutzim. Not only that, take hostages back to Gaza. Unscathed. Unopposed. Now, there are people who say, well, a bunch of battalions were moved from Gaza over to Judea and Samaria. First of all, that's BS. Second of all, okay, so what if they did? Do you know how long it takes an attack helicopter to get activated and blow up any one of those tractors or pickup trucks or hang gliders that invaded Israel? Less than 5 minutes. And I know all these things firsthand because I served on the Gaza border. Less than 5 minutes.
Just like Rabbi
It all
Mizrahi
could have been
said.
over. From 7:01 a.m. on October, 6th or 7th, on Saturday, I believe it was October 7th, it could have been it could have been a matter of 5 minutes before the whole thing was upended. And instead they had 7 hours, possibly 8, to conquer kibbutzim, kill thousands, and bring back hostages alive, unopposed. And there's many people that say, oh, well, this was just a breach. No, that's not a breach. I'm sorry, that's not a fucking breach. That's an inside job. And if it's not an inside job, well, then that's even worse. Because that means that the IDF is the most incompetent military that ever walked the face of the earth. And now we're supposed to trust these people to invade Gaza? They're calling up thousands of reservists to invade Gaza under the command of a military that A, didn't see this coming, and B, is too incompetent to react to a bunch of pickup trucks with AK-47s invading Israel? You tell me which outcome is worse. What's worse? That it was an inside job? Or that the Israeli army is really this incompetent? Which one is scarier? You tell me. You tell me if you trust this same military to send in thousands of incredible Jewish souls dying to fight for this land into Gaza. And no matter how high their morale is, and it's high, and these are brave warriors, but none of it matters if the people calling the shots are the same people who allowed the Gaza militia to invade Israel's borders, kill thousands, take back hostages completely unopposed. Like I said, this is not a video I wanted to do. This is not something... And oh, by the way, now America is coming with aid? Do you really think Israel needs American aid to fight Gaza? Gaza! Their most elite force, their air force is hang gliders, and their ground troops are pickup trucks. They don't even have a tank. And we need American aid Israel needs American aid to fight them? Are you fucking serious? You don't think that there's anything fishy going on here? You really trust the IDF to send in all these reservists into Gaza, the same people who A, didn't see this coming, or the alternative, which is much worse, they're so incompetent they can't even handle a couple of pickup trucks and hang gliders invading their border, killing thousands and taking hostages for 7 hours, practically unopposed, and able to go back.
That is completely nuts. But that's the truth of the matter. And now, President Trump's in power. What will happen next? I do believe that he'll probably be able to negotiate with Putin and bring an end to the situation in Ukraine. But what's going to happen in the Middle East? Me and Yana will be bringing a lot of that to you here in the coming days, so we hope you stay tuned. I'm Steve Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. Thank you for your support of the broadcast. The only place you'll ever hear the truth, well, I shouldn't say the only place you'll hear the truth about the Middle East, but when it comes to believers of Yeshua, Jesus Christ that is, it's one place you will hear the truth. God bless you. IsraeliNewsLive.org